All right. I want to say pleasant good day, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasant good day. How you guys doing? It's your brother Bolo FNR. In this video, I want to encourage you all to hit the like button as you come through the door. Let's get this video up to 5,000 likes, ladies and gentlemen. So the first thing I want you to do is to smash that like button. That's the first thing. Do not forget. It is free, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to donate. You don't have to go in your bank account. It's free. Hit the like button. It is free. Now, today we saw a very, very dark day in our country, in our political history, where several criminals swore in. Several criminals swore in, ladies and gentlemen, in the office, in Parliament. Several people that are under investigation for various things involving potential charges of criminality in the highest order swore in today. Some ongoing investigations and otherwise. Yes? How you doing, Kimon? And we have the leader, my Prime Minister, Mark Jefferson Goldinng, that was robbed by the unconstitutional, undemocratic electoral process of September 3rd. And only God alone can tell me, Sana Soigo. I will be riding that ship until justice is served. That was robbed of his true position in the House of Parliament, which is the Prime Minister of Jamaica. So my Prime Minister, Mark Jefferson Goldinng, that was wrongfully placed in the opposition by a thwarted, altered, political, democratical, electoral process, is now speaking as the opposition in this one. And let us hear what he has to say. A stern warning to the so-called government led by Alibaba and the several thieves. Let's hear what he has to say.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to join in the words of congratulations that have already been extended to all of the 63 members of Parliament who have been duly elected and have today taken their seats in this honourable House. It is a good thing that we have managed to have general elections in this country with minimal violence. Especially one as hard fought and as closely run as this one. And it shows that what was once a scourge on our society and body politic is something which we can hopefully say is permanently behind us. We have other concerns about the electoral system, which we have already foreshadowed in public statements that we've made, and we intend to continue to do what we can to see improvements in that area. And you will be hearing from us further on that at future times. I want to just say for my own part how happy I am that over 403,000 Jamaicans voted for our members of Parliament on this side, an increase of some 97,000 voters over our performance in the previous elections, resulting in us doubling the number of seats that we hold in this Parliament, as can be seen today. It restores a significant measure of balance in the Parliament of the country, which I think is good for Jamaica's democracy, and provides us with a platform to move forward to achieve our goals next time round. I want to congratulate the members of Parliament on the other side, the 35 of them, who were successful and who have therefore formed the government, and to congratulate the Jamaica Labour Party for its third successive term, which I believe is a historic landmark for that party. Madam Speaker, the Prime Minister in his inaugural address at King's House emphasized the importance of the country coming together, of unity, and so on. And I think nobody in Jamaica would express a contrary view. Unity is strength, and we must all strive for it. However, it cannot be achieved by platitudes or just empty words. One hand can't clap. And it is important, if we want to build consensus around important topics, that there be some action, some actual tangible effort to achieve consensus.
Sound exclusively for
Are still from the vestiges of colonialism, which are still very much present in our existing constitutional arrangements, and achieve full decolonization, which is long overdue. For that to happen, there needs to be consensus around certain critical things that we regard as fundamental to this exercise. And we don't feel that any effort has really been made to achieve such consensus thus far. And I look forward to seeing whether or not that will in fact take place going forward. Within the Parliament itself, I would ask that the Prime Minister reinstitute the system of chairmanship of the House committees, which was established in 2007 and continued through 3 successive governments, including the first of his terms in the current 3-term cycle, but was discontinued in 2020. I think that it is necessary. It is necessary for there to be more accountability for what the executive is or isn't doing, and the committee system of the Parliament is a vital element in ensuring that continuity. And having the government appoint the chairman of the committees to set the agenda and the dates of meetings and so on is not, in our view, consistent with the aspiration of accountability which we hear being stated on both sides. And, you know, a former Prime Minister, Bruce Goldinng, from that side was the one who instituted the mechanism of having the opposition appoint the chairman and chairpersons of these committees. And it was continued by the Most Honourable Portia Simpson-Miller when she was Prime Minister, and by Most Honourable Andrew Holness in his first term, and then discontinued. And I urge him to reconsider the discontinuance of that, what I think was the building of an important convention in achieving greater levels of accountability in our Parliament.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that Andrew Holness is not interested in any accountability. A dictatorship straight. So we shall be keeping an eye on this request from the most honorable, the right honorable, my Prime Minister, Mark Jefferson Goldinng. You understand? Speaking on behalf of the people, on behalf of true democracy, on behalf of accountability, on behalf of integrity, justice, unlike the Jamaica Labour Party. And we're going to see if he's going to reinstitute that particular convention. And I want to say big up to Bruce Goldinng for even putting it forward, because that was a true democratic, implementation to create accountability across the board. So let's see if that request, and you notice that was his first request that he made in this speech. The second request. The first request was, let's not just talk about unity, but make sure that we put the necessary actions in place to assure that unity, so we can build the country. So I like this. The opposition is making it clear. We are for unity. Right? I'm going to go back to it, KK, because I'm recording. We are for unity, No doubt about it. But it's not just words, it's also actions. And if your actions are contradicting your words, then there will be no unity. You can't say two villages can't say let's unite, but then in the night they're going and burning down the other village from the opposition village. They're going and unaliving soldiers. Your actions speak of war, and your words speak of unity. It cannot work. When Andrew Holness said that he doesn't need an opposition, how comes all of a sudden he might come talk about say he want unity? You know why? Because he knows that it's going to be a very, very hard time for them with an opposition of 28 versus their 35. It will not be very, very smooth for them at all. But let's continue. Let's read.
Madam Speaker, Jamaica is at somewhat of a crossroads. We have managed through successive administrations to take our public debt from the perilous heights of 147% of GDP which was where it was in 2012, to this year, it is projected to have achieved the 60% target, which is embodied in our fiscal rules and is part of our fiscal responsibility framework in our law. Both sides can claim some degree of satisfaction in the achievement of that monumental milestone. Really, the heavy lifting began in 2012-13 with the new IMF agreement that was signed, a very challenging agreement which led to success in bringing the debt to GDP ratio down to 115% by 2016, and it has continued thereafter to now, where with a revision in the accounting protocol for GDP, the expectation is that we will achieve 60% this year. Having said that, what we have not seen is commensurate improvements in the standard of living and quality of life of our people. And all the sacrifices that have been borne by the people of Jamaica in running the high primary surpluses that have been necessary to achieve the debt reduction that we have managed to achieve must now translate into tangible benefits that the people of Jamaica can feel that they have derived from the sacrifices made. We on our side have espoused a set of policies and programs that we feel are necessary for Jamaica to move beyond the anemic, stagnant levels of economic growth which have been a feature of modern Jamaica, and in particular over the last 10 years, and take us to higher levels of growth that can generate the kind of revenues to support investments in the people, social investments that are necessary in infrastructure and in our human capital that can become a self-reinforcing virtuous circle of growth that can take Jamaica to her destiny as a prosperous nation, as opposed to one which has achieved so many great things in certain areas, but in the area of economics and how the life of our people unfolds on a daily basis, we are underperforming. We intend to hold this government to account.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard my Prime Minister, Mark Jefferson Goldinng, let the uncertified, illegitimate Jamaica Labour Party government, that they will be holding them accountable, because we as the Jamaican people have suffered to get this debt to GDP down and to get the debt down, and our quality of life has not improved. The teachers, the nurses, the doctors, the regular person that works a 9 to 5, the security guard, the persons that work in the hotel, the entrepreneurs, the persons that work in the market, the farmers. Our lives have not improved. You understand? And Mark Goldinng is letting it be known that, listen, you guys promised prosperity, right? The Labour Party promised prosperity from 2016. We have not seen any prosperity, not for the regular people. Andrew Holness and his cronies and his friends and families, right, and colleagues, they are the ones that their pockets have been fattened significantly. But this is what Jamaica voted for. You guys voted for more of the same, right? So I'm telling you, you will suffer. You're going to suffer immensely for what you did on September 3rd. All of you that sold out, yo, man, listen. Woo! Lord of mercy. But I'm happy that he brought it up and let it be known that the way how the debt to GDP has gone down, the JLP has no excuses to not grow the economy. Absolutely none. If they cannot grow the economy now, they will never be able to grow the economy. Because the PMP did the heavy lifting. They passed all the IMF tests on the Portia Simpson Miller, right? And as it is, please share the live, guys, and like up the live. As it is, those fiscal papers, which I read on my live stream the other day. I did a live stream about that whole paper from the JIS on the day that Portia Simpson Miller and her party, came up with those fiscal papers and launched them. That is what we are benefiting from, where our debt to GDP and actual debt is going down steadily, right? When you look at those papers, you understand that what we're benefiting from now is what Portia Simpson Miller said and the People's National Party. And it has to be said. The JLP had to follow the laws that was set there. Any party that was in power had to follow the laws that was set there. It was already set. So now they haven't found a way to grow the economy. But at this juncture, they will have no excuses. They cannot blame a storm. They cannot blame nothing. They cannot blame a pandemic. People came out the pandemic and they grew their economy. Look at all of the other yeah, salute to you, Paige. Look at all the other Caribbean islands that went out of the pandemic. They have grown their economy significantly, right? But what happened to Jamaica? Corruption. Corruption has bled the country's resources. And this JLP party, I mean, from the head of the stream, all the way down to 10 other persons that are under investigation, and all the unknowns that we don't know about that is a part of some level of corruption in that party, is what has caused us to not grow the economy. But again, Jamaica, this is what you voted for. But Mark Goldinng will be holding them accountable. Yes? Let's continue.
For all the promises that they made to the people of Jamaica in the course of the last election in seeking a third term of office and in achieving higher levels of performance than they've been able to achieve thus far. And we intend to also put forward our own proposals as to how we would do that so that Jamaica could be a place in which the aspirations of our people can be met right here on this rock and not by way of having to migrate or seek solace elsewhere. The Jamaican people are a great, proud and powerful nation, but we are not yet achieving our destiny in the critical areas that would make the life of our people more bearable and where there would be a sense of hope and a sense that this country that we live on can give to our people what they need to feel comfortable and live a high and good quality of life.
Time for prosperity, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say a big shout out to my brother Ballhead Wayne in the building. You know us Ballhead brothers got to stick together, man. Ballhead Wayne, thank you for the donation in the last live stream. When I came off, I saw it because I was looking at my phone. Thank you so much for your continued support, my brother. Respect. All right? And shout out to all my gifters on TikTok. Salute to all my gifters. Salute to everybody that's hitting the like button. Let's get the likes up to 50,000. And on YouTube, let's get the likes to 1,000, man. Let's get it. If you watch the replay, make sure you hit that like button. Let's go. Let's go.
I close by thanking the staff of Parliament for the service that they render to us day in, day out when we're here, and even when we're not here, I know the work goes on. And I would also just like to congratulate our athletes who are in Japan performing at such a high level, bringing more gold, more silver, more fame and more fortune to our lands and helping to reignite brand Jamaica in the area of athletics. We want to big them up and thank them for their service. And of course, Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, who has now ended her international athletic career. A special shout out to her for her tremendous career. Yes. And on a sad note, we lost one of Jamaica's greatest footballers in the last week or so, Alan Skill Cole. And I want to use this opportunity to express condolences to his family and friends. You know, as somebody who's a lover of football, you know, I can really say that he took the art and craft of being a baller to a higher level, and he will be sadly missed. And thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Thank you, members of the House. I hope that we can work together well, authentically, to move this country forward in the coming term. God bless you.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A genuine call of action by my Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Mark Jefferson Goldinng. You hear what he said? I hope that we can work together genuinely. You have to listen to the words, you know. He doesn't waste his words, ladies and gentlemen. He knows that the Jamaica Labour Party is very disingenuous. Crooked. Yankee Bless, what's up, my brother? Crooked. Oh, wait, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. I'm recording right now. We're going to get there. So let me know what you guys think about that, ladies and gentlemen. What I note from the speech from Mark Goldinng was, one, he wanted them to re-implement this particular action, or I think it's for the opposition to appoint certain heads of committees. You know, he said that Mr. Bruce Goldinng was the one that actually came up with that, and so that would go well to help the democracy, the democratic process in terms of holding the government accountable. As it stands right now, Andrew Holness has blurred all the lines of democracy. He has torn them down, burnt them up, and disintegrated them. His wife is still the Speaker of the House, which is extremely alarming after all of the skullduggery that happened in the second term. But again, Jamaica, you voted for this. You told them that what they were doing was right. And so they will not change what they are doing. They will still keep her as the Speaker of the House. And they have added several other characters that are very questionable when it comes on to being lawful. Almost criminal. You understand? By the eye of the public eye. Their names do not resonate in a very, very good way. Their antecedents, as Andre Stevens would say, is not very good at all. Terrible as a matter of fact. Some of the accusations leveled by them would have them in prison in other countries, in other democracies. You understand? In other democracies, just the sniff of those accusations would have ended because they're public figures that work in government. You have other countries that don't play those types of games. You would have to resign. You would have to remove yourself. Andrew Holness could not have been the prime minister of any other country, any good, respectable, democratic country. He could have not called an election. He would have been removed if he didn't remove himself. Jamaica is slack. Jamaica is loose. And Jamaica is an absolute disgrace of a democracy. Absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. Moderators, if you're here, yeah, man, these people are not welcome on my platform. Soon as them rear them ugly head, I'm gonna remove them. No apology. Get off my page. Only truth I speak. Be gone, you Eden. You followers of evil and wicked. Let's continue. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section.